Welcome to Sharper Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the betting show that makes the squares sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman, and I am joined by my co-host, my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, how you doing?
Amped for Sunday. This is the stripped down in the room, eavesdropping version of Sharper Square. You and I are going to nail down our final 5 picks now that we've had injuries, which there have been some roster announcements. We've seen some lines move. Are you ready to roll, my brother?
Can't wait.
I feel like I'm at peak energy and you're like coming off a bender of having been up for 97 hours betting on games.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm looking forward to taking like a little hour nap here before kickoff. So I'm fired up. I'm sure people have seen all the trends and all the stuff this week. It's a known week for dog bettors. Like it's a good week to be betting dogs, and it's a busy week. And luckily, we've talked about all the games this week. Are we up to 5 quarterbacks out or 4 quarterbacks are out? We're not really hyper focused on those games, thank God. So for me, it's like, there wasn't a lot of people complain about already having quarterbacks injuries and everything like that. But to me, you can avoid those games. There's so many good games this week and so many good lines this week. So yeah, not too hyper focused on that Vikings-Bengals game. But yeah, there's plenty of other ones we're going to talk about here.
All right, so let's get into it. These are the games we had zeroed in on the other day. And a reminder, a lot of times we're in a contest. Those contest lines lock on Wednesday. The lines move over the course of the past few days. Oftentimes they're the same. But if we can take advantage of these contest lines on games that we already liked, we do. The first one up, Green Bay at Cleveland. That line is pretty much painted 7.5 across the board. We liked Cleveland all week at 8.5. It is at 8.5 in the contest. I still think I'd like Cleveland at 7.5 for purposes of anyone listening or watching the show right now. But you're not getting the best of the number. So at 8.5, to me, it feels like we've played it. It's 8.5 in the contest. Feels like we want to lock in on that one.
Yeah, another game we were never going to avoid. And this is what I love about me and Chad doing this show together, that there's some games that one of us can talk the other person out of. This game, as soon as I saw the number, I said, there's no way we don't take this number, let alone having the contest. And there's still one very public book out there that has the 8.5.
Yes.
But I don't mind grabbing the 7.5 at Hard Rock. If that's the only choice you have, you're still getting a really good number with the hook. And let's be honest, the difference between 7.5 and 8.5, it's just mental. Like the odds of it actually landing on 8, it's obviously there's a percentage of chance of that's why you want the best of the number. But I just see this one either being a field goal win by Green Bay, honestly, or somehow Cleveland pulls up the upset. We're in week 3 here. Week 3, you see a lot of really weird stuff where there's teams that get heavily overvalued and there's teams that get heavily undervalued, and you see the line reflect that. And you've seen it here, right? There's a couple books that are getting Cleveland money, but most bookmakers I've talked to this week, it's just all Green Bay money, and they're very happy when I come in to bet on Cleveland. So they've needed the help from their professionals balancing the books, just because of how heavy they are with the moneyline parlays, the teasers. Everything is just on Green Bay. Green Bay, I don't know how many people took them in their survivor pool, right? It's Green Bay on the road, but people are doing that, which is a crazy thing to think about, right? It's just a very beloved team right now because people are so hyper-focused on the defensive line and how well Jordan Love's play for good reason, right? They look like the best team right now in the NFC, but we see time again, it's really hard to be at your best 3-4 weeks in a row, especially in the NFL, especially when you're going up against a Cleveland defensive line. So, yeah, me and Chad knew the deal. We are betting on Joe Flacco. We're going to need a backdoor. We're going to need a miracle cover at some point. And, it's really us putting our faith into this Cleveland defense, and
all of it.
Also that their offense is as bad as the public perception is right now. So, Chad, I unfortunately, I thought on Thursday maybe something will happen. I can talk Chad out of this one, but I knew it right away last week on Sunday. This was going to be a guaranteed in our contest, especially at 8.5.
Guy, I was never going to be talked out of this one. I
Never.
like I wanted you to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
I was desperate. I told you I watched the condensed version of this game on the rowing machine. That's how much I wanted to not bet on Cleveland. I was
The
looking
Ravens
for
Cleveland game.
yeah, the Ravens Cleveland game. I was desperate to not have to bet on the Browns, but I just like the number. It's number 1 and number 2 rush defenses in yards per carry. So if Green Bay is going to win this game, it's going to be because Jordan Love throws deep and over the top. But that also plays itself, I think, to a lot more incompletions, a lot more potential plays in the game. So that could favor Cleveland because it allows for a little more variance and turnovers and things like that. So we're going to be on the Browns. We can try to rationalize it any way we want, looking at the numbers. We're on a elite top tier defense at home against an overvalued team versus an undervalued team. We're just going to do it.
Love it.
Houston at Jacksonville. So this got to 2.5. It's at 1.5 right now. Wise guys have been hitting this. The Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 1.5. It got to 2.5 for like 2 hours in the middle of the week. And then it kept moving down, down, down. I think for this game, we like Houston. We've bet Houston. We really have to believe that the quality of the Texans' losses against the Bucs and the Rams shows that they are the better team here and that their history of consistently winning in their division is going to prove to be the difference against a Jags team I don't think we're sold on, considering the 2 games they played so far.
Yeah, and as hard as I want to bang the tail for the Texans, there's a lot of things that are shown up on tape that I think a lot of people are seeing in the football world that is pretty alarming of this Texans team, and not something we think they're going to overnight fix. Right, their run defense might be a major problem for them going forward this season, and obviously they don't really have a running game. And we joked that Nick Chubb touchdown. The more you watch it, the more you do realize that it was a gimme, right? They just don't have that running back right now that can offset CJ, and that's a big deal because last year you did see Joe Mixon was very, very good for them. Even if the numbers don't back it up, he was an effective weapon, especially in the red zone for them last year. So this one with the Texans really is about us trusting the numbers, and once again, teams, or just I should say the public, leaving these teams for dead, right? They're 0-2 against the spread, and it's only professional money. The thing that gives me hesitation with them is I don't know about you, Chad. I don't know if I've talked to a single professional bettor that's on the Jaguars. It's all Texans. I know the public is on the Jaguars, and which I totally understand, but it's always a little nerve-wracking where it's just like last week with the Jets, where it's just all love for this side. And like you said, the numbers come down. Our contest, it's plus 0.5. So we're not even getting 1.5. If we take the Texans, we're saying they're going to win this game. Like they're not tying this game. So do we believe Houston can win this game? I do. It's a team that has done really well against the Jaguars. It doesn't matter who their coach is, who their quarterback is. It's just consistently they've matched up well against them. And we know divisionally there's weird things like that. There's weird quirks like that where different teams, just scheme up against other teams. So we wouldn't be shocked. Houston going over 3. They have major issues, but I love a desperate team like they are with the type of mentality they have in D'Amico Ryans in this spot against a Jacksonville team that could be fraudulent. Like we gave them a lot of love because they beat up on a Panthers defense and then beat up on a Cincinnati defense. Here we go. This is a true test. You have an incredibly desperate Houston's team that got embarrassed. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like they let Bucky and White run all over them last week against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers did whatever they want in the run game. So I just tend to love these teams in these exact spots, and all the negativity around CJ, I expect him to make some big plays for us in this spot. I know he's hearing the noise and he's feeling it after being, again, just outplayed on a Monday night primetime game. So we are not getting the best of the number. I really why force us to take a number that's not the best of the number, but there's two games here that we have to pick between, and Houston's one of them, where it's like, I could be talked out of it. Chad really wanted to, but I've been betting into it so heavy. I'm so confident in the number. I obviously wish we had the 1.5, but I'll take the half, and I'll play it in our contest if you want to.
All right, well, you had a whole journey there, because in the beginning I thought you were going to say you're not really comfortable with it, but then we came around and we've both bet into it. I feel like it's on the edge. And
I have it as our number 5, so I'm with you on that.
So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to turn this game on. The Texans are going to steamroll, and we're going to be like, are you freaking kidding me? That like we even debated this at 1.5. Like, why are we getting in our heads and dealing
I know, that's what I'm trying not to overthink the number.
Sometimes picayune details. LA Rams at Philadelphia Eagles. It's 3.5. It's 3 at Hard Rock. If you can get the 3, take the Eagles. I live in Connecticut. I have been waiting for this thing to get back down to 3. It's not going to get there. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and take the 3.5. We are against the wise guys on this. I hate that we are not getting the 3. I really, really do. But why can't I get over this Eagles team? Why do I feel like the Rams had incredible games against 2 teams, one in the Texans, one in the Titans, that haven't found their way yet, and the Eagles are like at that uber confident, we can win at an 80% level and not even open up our full bag of tricks yet stage. And Saquon Barkley could have run for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns in this game.
And I will say this, respect to Hard Rock for holding the 3, because it's no other book here, especially New Jersey, has been at the 3. And
it looks like they've been taking the Rams' money and they're just moving the juice. I've been waiting for 4 days for this thing to go to 3 somewhere.
And I was going to say, you said the professional side of the Rams. It's not, I told you, it's not as professional as you think. It's a weird spot where it's not, like I said, it's not that it's the lazy professional bet, but it is, right? They're strictly looking at this as the Rams have been playing better first 2 games of the year. Eagles team's offense looks putrid. They don't look consistent. And, it's rare you have the defending Super Bowl champ who just beat the team they defeated in the Super Bowl on the road the week before, be just badmouthed by people, right? It doesn't really happen that often that a team starts 2-0 after winning the Super Bowl and people are just down on them. So I think we're in the same line here of this is just a surprisingly buy low spot and a fade of an overrated Rams team that we have no doubt in their talent level, right? Stafford with those weapons, and he looks good, right? I don't know if it's the shots he's taking or whatever it is. He looks in midseason form. Like, this is the best he's looked since, I would say that Bills game going back to last year when he was at home against the Bills and he put up like 42 points. So, we haven't had this Stafford in a long time. He just looks totally in rhythm, totally confident. But when you break down this Eagles defense and how they can attack it, I mean, they haven't really had to have, shown their weakness here, but the offensive line is an actual weakness to this Rams team. And you saw it in that Houston game, right? There was a reason they were only able to put up 14 points against that Rams defense, and it was just because Stafford was under rest and didn't have time. And you look at this matchup of the Eagles team, they actually surprisingly have been really, really good at rushing the passer. And you saw that last week with Mahomes, it didn't show up in the stats because he scrambled so much. Stafford is not, that's not a part of Stafford's game at all. He is not the scrambling type. So it's going to be an interesting game. We're going to know pretty quick, right? If they can get Stafford off his spot, right? Force him out of the middle. That's a Jalen Carter stat. If he can get up the middle. And then it's about the Eagles getting back to the run game. I know the whole question has been about Hurts and the passing offense. To me, I get what they're doing, right? There's the same thing you saw what Josh Allen did on Thursday night. It's like, I'm just not going to lose this game. Like, you're going to make the mistake, and I'll trust in our defense and our offense to play smart enough not to make that turnover and, make that huge mistake. And you kind of see that that's the way the NFL is going now. People are going to start playing more conservative, just safer football and try to make the other guys blink first. And we've seen it with Stafford. Stafford is an absolute gunslinger. If he gets behind 7, he will start throwing to those tight windows because that's just the type of player he is. You can't change who he is, right? He is what he is. So I love this number. It's funny where if this was 4, I would honestly have a different tune on it. But the fact that it's 3.5, I do think this is a really good value bet. And I'm with Chad. If you can get the 3 like you can at Hard Rock, go get it. But I have no issues taking the 3.5. I bet a ton of 3.5s this week. And next week, I'm sure we're going to be fading this Eagles team. But yeah, I can't believe it. Back-to-back weeks, we're going to be taking the Eagles in the contest.
All right, well, stay tuned for tonight's show around 7:30 p.m. Eastern after the late afternoon game, so we can talk about how we're fading the Eagles in Week 4. But yeah, like your confidence in the Eagles buoys my confidence, and everyone's criticism of the Eagles offense right now is actually why I kind of like the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts does not care what the public is saying. Jalen Hurts only knows what's happening inside his building and how he can manage this offense and doing exactly what he needs to do to win. And if the Eagles need Jalen Hurts to throw downfield more to win a game, then that's what he's going to figure out how to do. And so to me, I am just not that worried about the ineffectiveness of this Eagles offense at certain spots in the games because Jalen Hurts knows exactly who he is and what this team needs. Feels like Eagles 3.5 and Browns 8.5 right now are making strong entries for positions in the contest. We're on the fence about Houston. Today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. It's not just a great sportsbook app. They give you crazy stats. Check out these streaks from the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. You can find live odds to bet on all of these streaks in the Hard Rock Bet app. Josh Jacobs has scored a touchdown in 11 straight games. Well, that continued. The Texans have won 11 straight road games versus AFC South opponents. I definitely hope that continues. Brandon Cooks has 16-plus receiving yards for 28 September games in a row. Yes, 28. How about J.K. Dobbins? He's rushed for 50-plus yards in 8 consecutive Sunday games. Jonnu Smith has scored a touchdown in 7 straight games versus AFC opponents. The Titans have not covered the spread at home in 9 consecutive games. The Patriots have lost 11 games in a row following a win. They won last week. Who's writing this ad copy? Is it Simon Hunter, the trendsetter? All that is just a tap away when you open the Hard Rock Bet app. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you get not only your winnings, but $150 in extra bonus bets. Plus, on Hard Rock Bet, you can get a parlay boost for today's games. There's new promos every day. Boost your same game parlay or SGP Max, so your bet pays extra winnings. There's new promos every day. So if you're listening to this later, just open the app and check out what you've got any day of the week. I want to bring up Dallas and Chicago. Chicago is a 1.5 point underdog right now. That was our Brass Balls bet of the week. I have bet the Bears at plus 1.5. I'm pretty sure you have too. For some reason in our contest, the Bears are 1.5 point favorites. That becomes a pass to me. A pass because I don't like the way the market has moved. We'd be playing into a number that goes against everything that we sort of practice when it comes to taking advantage of when these lines lock. So this game becomes a pass for me in the contest because the Bears are 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, my only preach on it is I've bet into this Bears line. I love this Bears spot, and we've talked all week about it. If you bet the Dolphins on Thursday, if you're betting the Texans today, if you're betting Denver today, you have to bet this Bears line. They're all pretty much the same.
There's no difference in the belief. There's no to your point.
Again, it's all every team's different. The matchups are all different like that. But at the end of the day, it's like this Bears team. I can't believe how undervalued they are, and the fact that everyone I've talked to, even professionals, like the Cowboys, and they all give me the same reasons. And and if I'm trying to make an argument for this Bears team, them being their whole secondary being out is a huge deal. I agree with everyone telling us that. And if you have to dream up a matchup for Dak, CD, and Pickens, this is it. The Bears they have practice squad guys right now lined up at corner, going up against Pro Bowlers. So that's the nerve-wracking spot here. But I think Mother Nature might give us one here. I think it might rain. It might be a little windy. It might be bad weather if we can get lucky here in Chicago. So I'm not going to force it in because it is a bad number, like Chad said. But I do think it comes down to Houston or the Bears here, where it's like, I know it's a bad number. I know it's minus 1.5 in our contest. But I can't get over how much I love the Bears in the spot against a Cowboys team that Dak is going to have stinker games. And unfortunately, he does well. Like I said, I talked about his record against teams below 500. He does really well against them. So once again, not going to force it because I said it to Chad that this Bears team, they might truly be a bottom 4 team in this league. They might literally be that bad. So I love this because this is truly a make or break, opinion changing type of game where if they can just come out, Caleb can put together a couple really good drives. I mean, the over under I think was 50 and a half. Once again, I like the under there where it's like I feel like everyone is going to be taking Cowboys in the over. I'm betting on hopefully some bad weather, sloppy game. Give me the under. Give me the Bears. And it's a really gross game, gross matchup. So if we don't have to put it, I'd be so happy because me and Chad, we both have the Sunday ticket. If I don't need to make this in my 4 box, I would honestly thank you, Chad. But I'm glad you're not as confident in it because it's like, it always scares me when Bears fans are confident in the Bears. It's the ships are burnt. There are no Bears fans I feel like left that are truly confident in this Bears team. But I have talked to a couple guys, respected money who are very, very confident in this Bears side. But I think what Chad's pointing out, they're really confident at the +1.5.
Yeah.
They just think it's gonna be a really close game where I don't know. I still think it should be -3 Bears. So I still think there's value in this line. But once again, I'd much rather have 4.5 points of value to my model on the 1.5 on the Bears than forcing in them at 1.5. So, yeah, it sucks. It's a bad number in our contest, but yeah, it's gross. But I love the Bears side, and I think their offense is gonna surprise people. Caleb's not as bad as he's looked through the first 2 weeks. He's just been put in tough games, tough spots, and as we said, I think he'll keep getting better every week as he gets more comfortable in this offense.
Number one, I'm your bestie Bears fan, and I haven't been confident in the Bears since Justin Fields circa 2023. Number one, nobody who's a Bears fan is confident in the Bears, ever. We hate the organization. We hate the ownership.
You had a
management.
Mitch MVP ticket, don't lie.
Dude, but then we're talking about what? 2017? 2018? Like,
it was real.
It is. Everybody who is a Bears fan is so angry, bitter, except for the one dude who goes to every game still wearing that literal bear outfit, who my friends and I text about it. Like, we can't believe this guy is still doing that for these games. Slight chance of precipitation. If it gets bad, I hope you're right. Slight chance of precipitation.
We need the rain.
We need the rain. We need the rain like a farmer needed rain during the Dust Bowl. We need the rain. I don't know if the Bears make it here with 4.5 points of value being gone in the contest. All right. So Denver +2.5, just hanging there like a meatball. Is that someone we put in? Like, we're sort of struggling here to find 3, 4, and 5. We feel good about the Browns. We feel good about the Eagles. Who am I missing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know me. I've loved Denver all week. Really fascinating spread number and line because some books have gotten the Chargers up to like -165 on the money line, but they've held it at 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, back in the day, used to be like what, a -145, a -2.5, and now some books are holding it, but they're pricing their money line up to 165. So I feel like the books and me are in the same line of Chargers win a close one if they do win, but there's no way they cover this number. Like, that's just an inflated line. But I love this type of matchup because the Chargers do cover this. Again, I don't know come January how I feel about the Chargers, but this would literally, not just my model, but bookmakers as well, change our perspective on this Chargers team totally. Where it's like, okay, we thought they were potentially a top 10 team after last week. You win this game, you win 3 straight divisional games, and you blow out the Denver Broncos. You're like, okay, this is a juggernaut, might win this division type of team now because this is just a bad spot historically. I gave out the stats, like teams in this exact spot, so playing 3 straight divisional games, They're 1-6 in the last 7 in this exact spot. Teams just playing like they just played 2 straight primetime night games coming to this spot. 1-5 in the last 6 in this spot. So it's like not a good spot for a Chargers team. And then we talked about the public overrating them, overvaluing them, and just inflating this where, tons of love once again to a team that put up 3 points in that second half against the Raiders. Like you saw when the adjustments were made to Herbert, he can't keep surviving with no run game like he has through the first 2 weeks. It's just that's not the offense Harbaugh wants to be running here. So can they get it right with the run game and the Chargers really become that totally complete team that the general public and sports media have already painted them out to be? I bet you they can. Like I'm really, really love this Denver spot. And Bo Nix, who hasn't played well through the first 2 weeks, you expect Sean Payton and him to be able to get right here against the Chargers defense. Like I said, they do have injuries to that middle of the field, the linebackers and the secondary. And, Darwin James, obviously one of the best safeties in football. He will be a total game changer for us in the fact of how he plays this and how he affects Bo Nix. But another game strictly about the number. And we talked that unique spot, right? It fits Houston too. 0-2 teams against the spread on the road against divisional foes. It's on an historical run. It's on a 13-0 run in this exact spot. So the trends like it. We like it. Love the number. And this is an incredibly important game in the sense that it really does feel like it's going to dictate this division. Where I do think the Chiefs will be there at the end, but if Denver truly wants to be the guy in this division, the top dog, they have to win this. Bo Nix has to step up. So, yeah, gross one. Hold your nose. Take it. Plus 2.5. It's a couple threes out there, right? Shop around. You can get 3. Hard Rock's gone to 3 a couple times here in Jersey. So, definitely shop around for our contest, though. I love the 2.5. I got no problem putting it in.
Wow. All right, let's think about this for a second. Browns, Eagles, Broncos. Let me just throw out 3 other games where the lines are to our advantage. We haven't bet them big, and they're ugly. Jets on the road at the Bucs, Panthers at home against the Falcons, Saints on the road against the Seahawks. We still need 2 more games.
I mean, right now I have Eagles, Cleveland, Denver with Houston as our 4th because we switched out.
Yep. All right, so maybe we need 1 more game.
Yeah, we can talk 2 more. I mean, I like Panthers. Am I willing to die on a hill and force this one in? I'm not. Like no. Can
we ask our audience to bet the Panthers right now? That feels unfair.
I know. I'm betting it if they want to ride with me. I do think it's a good number. I mean, I'm looking at the live lines here. There's still 5.5s out there. A couple books have moved to 4.5, which I am shocked by. Like, I can't believe our professional group is putting heavy money on this Panthers team. There's just so many other good games. But like I told you early in the week, there's just a lot of trends that people love in this spot. And there's a lot of fading trends on this Atlanta team on the road outdoors, right? It's a unique spot, I guess, if you're looking at this Panthers team. But it's just tough where it's like there's other games I like more and I bet more. So I get why you brought them up the Panthers. I agree. We talked during the week. The professionals we heard were on the Bucs, especially at the 6.5. Our contest is 7.5 Jets, and we cannot overstate the offensive line injuries.
That's what I'm thinking.
This team, and I hate that though because it is lazy, and I get why people are complaining about it. Where it's like everyone knows the injuries to this team, and obviously if Emeka Egbuka was out, would have been a big deal for us. The kid has I think 3 touchdowns through 2 games. A rookie from Ohio State that the Bucs drafted. Just looks like a day 1 gamer stud, and that would have had me feeling a little more confident because the Jets, outside of Sauce, their number 2, number 3 corners are horrible, and this bet really is about short week. Baker just getting into 3 car accidents in that game, right? He was just beat up. And now he's going against a pretty good defensive line with no O-lineman. Like, to me, this game is just them trying to survive. And the same thing, I mean, you talk about this Jets team, they fit the 0-2 model, right? They're the 0-2 team, desperate playing for their season with a backup quarterback. So I know I hate it. People probably saw it coming a mile away. We were going to get sick on this Jets team. I tried to talk us out of it, being like, there's pros on it. We can avoid it. But as soon as after our show, I always put our picks in on Thursday. And as soon as I saw 7.5 on the Jets, I was like, that's pretty interesting. So we'll put it as our 5th for right now, and we'll keep going through the games here. Right, definitely that one definitely jumped out to me. Of can me and Chad avoid it, or is the number 2 good? And this is just how can the Bucs overcome all those injuries to their offensive line? It just feels like it's too much at this point.
It does. I mentioned briefly Saints-Seahawks. We have the Seahawks in Survivor. I'm not interested in trying to thread the needle on Saints at 7.5 or 7 and Seahawks in Survivor. I want to bring up 2 more games. Chiefs -5.5. That's the contest line. It's 6 most places. Lions +5.5 on Monday night. It's now down to 4.5. So we're getting a little bit of an edge in both games. Do we like either of them better than the Jets? I'm not sure that I do, but they're available.
I can't. I think I'm just. Yeah, I'm not confident enough, and I don't have enough money on it. Where like the Chiefs, my Chiefs bets have honestly just been money line. Like if I'm putting big money into it, I'm just going to totally take out all the risk and just take the money line. I can't trust the Chiefs team with a big number. That's my issue right now, where it's like I can just see them doing enough just to win. They're not the type of team that can roll teams and blow them out. And really, I've supported the Chiefs bet all week, and I think we both agreed on the 5.5, just because we're really betting on Russell Wilson struggling against this Chiefs defense, and this being a great bounce back spot for Spags in this defense. So I can't force it in. Like, again, I like Houston better than both those teams in this next spot. If I had to,
I think I do too.
Over them, I would. If we're looking at chalk, I know we're not going to do it, but our contest is Colts 3.5. That's an interesting one, and
playing with fire. That is playing with fire.
Exactly. Where like I don't want to put it in just because it's a good number, and we've both betted at 3.
Yep.
And I was hoping in this contest Arizona would be 3.5. They're 1.5. So another game people have been asking about. I'm on Arizona, but another game we're not going to force in the contest, especially we don't even know who the quarterback is. Here we are really early Sunday morning. So I don't know, Chad. It feels like we're kind of stuck with Denver, Cleveland, Houston, Eagles, and then the last one being that damn Jets team at 7.5.
I think I agree.
Jeez. So no love for New England from you?
Well, maybe I'm making too much of it, but Christian Gonzalez has been ruled out. Do I care that much? Like he is the game changer for them in the back half of the defense. Obviously, he hasn't played in the first 2 games. Does it matter as much as Drake May's ability to, convert and be accurate? I don't know. Like I've actually liked the Patriots all week. I saw some 2s popping because probably of Christian Gonzalez. So I don't want to forget about the game. I don't want to overreact to Christian Gonzalez.
Right.
Do I feel better about the Patriots at 1.5 than I do about the Jets at 7.5? Patriots at 1.5 at home. Tomlin is a road favorite. I mean, I could talk myself into it right now.
Yeah, my hardest thing, I think you just mentioned his name, Drake May. That's been my hardest time with that game. Is he did play well against Miami. I wouldn't mind letting it play out and see him do it another week, and not forcing a bet on a bad number, because in our contest it is point and a half. So,
all right. Then I'd rather get the hook at 7 on the Jets.
Ugly dogs in Cleveland 8.5, and the Jets plus 7.5.
Yeah. All right. So fair enough. All right. So this is our final 5. Our final 5. Here's where we land. Cleveland plus 8.5. Houston plus 0.5. Eagles minus 3.5. Denver plus 2.5. The Jets, plus 7.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. God, this is going to be a miserable day. Miserable. Or it's going to be the greatest day ever. That's the beauty of Sunday mornings in the fall.
And nothing changed. I know JSN came up on injury report for the Seahawks. That's their number one receiver, and came up with an illness. So, better than a hamstring. You just hope today he woke up feeling better. I think I saw one of the biggest Survivor contests in America. 40% of the contest picks were on the Seahawks. So
yeah, we're screwed.
Chad and I are on the very chalk public side, and historical data shows in week 3, it's crazy. Look at the numbers. The upset of the 7.5 point favorites tends to happen here in week 3 historically. So I am praying this gets to 6.5 by kickoff for the Seahawks team, so we can feel a little better about that stupid trend not mattering for our game. But
we're not going to feel
Sam
better.
Darnold Survivor crash course. Here we go, Chad.
This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. We will be back on Sharper Square YouTube tonight at 7:30 live to recap all the misery and glory of the day. Once again, we have no games that we are putting into our Final Five for Sunday night and Monday night, so we'll know the answers by the time we get back on the air at 7:30. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, download from your favorite pod platform, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Till tonight. Love you.